Hi, this is Ray Gelato. My music can be heard on the City World Radio Broadcasting Network, on the Lounging with Lombardi music program, with your host, the legendary DJ, Mr. John Lombardi. Now dim the lights, pour your favorite beverage, and enjoy the music.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the City World Radio Network. I am DJ John Lombardi, host of my music program, Lounging with Lombardi, which can be heard every Tuesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we broadcast live from the City World Radio Network studios from the greatest city in the world, New York, New York. Well, today I have a little bit difference in my program. As you know, that the show is normally a 2-hour program. I will be handling the first hour of this program because at 6 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to boogie over to the cutting room to see Louis Prima Jr., who is in town. My good friend Glenn Chrysler is going to be my co-host for the first hour, and Glenn will be taking over the show at 6 p.m. to play some great swing music. Glenn, good afternoon, and welcome to the City World Radio Network.
Good afternoon, John. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, just a little bit of information. Glenn is a vocalist. He's a fabulous musician, and he's a big band leader. And we're going to get some great music going here for you. First featured artist this afternoon is a swinging group from New York City called Fleur, Seule, which in French means one flower. And it's led by Allison Briggs, who is the vocalist, a songwriter, and the band leader. I had the pleasure to see Allison many times in various locations here in New York City, and I had her interviewed here on the station as well, and she also sat in for me a few times. First track from Fleur, Seule, leading us off, original composition entitled Hey Ya Joe. Okay, once again, leading us off this afternoon, New York's own Fleur, Seule, featuring Allison Briggs, and that was the original composition entitled Hey Ya Joe. And speaking about Joes, let me give a shout out to Joe Calamari and the boys, keeping us all safe up there on the Hudson River. We continue with Fleur, Seule, Almost Like Being in Love. Great rendition of the classic Almost Like Being in Love, as performed by my first featured artist this afternoon, New York's own Fleur, Seule, featuring Allison Briggs on vocals. And we continue with Allison Briggs, Fleur, Seule. This is entitled, I Love Being in Trouble.
Lately we've had quite a romance, holding hands and loving life. But I sometimes catch in a glance my kisses seem to cause you strife. You pull me in so close, dear. You whisper in my ear. But when I make a move, sir, this is what I hear. Stop that, baby, you're gonna get it. Don't you bat those eyes at me. Cool it, baby, I'm gonna be sick. Sick as one in love can be. Hold on, baby, you drive me crazy. I'm in a loving, jumping mode. Stop that, baby, you're gonna get it. My heart's likely to explode. You tell me to hold it, to stop it, to quit it. Your heart cannot take anymore. But when I resist and I push you away, you come round knocking at my door. You say, baby,
right, that great swinging tune, once again, was performed by, once again, my first featured artist here this afternoon, Fleur, Seule, which means one flower in English, and featuring Allison Briggs, once again, the songbird there. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to Glenn, and he's going to give you the next three tracks here from Allison.
All right, coming up next from Fleur Seule, we have a tune called Take Me to Tango.
Swells as they sway to and fro. The lovely gentlemen are leading as the ladies are proceeding, and they glide and pass and bodies ebb and flow. He takes her hand and asks to have this dance. She slyly smiles and gives him half a chance. And as his heart is moved with passion in a most romantic fashion, she has fallen for him without second glance. Tonight go dim and voices all are low. The music swells as they sway to and fro. The lovely gentlemen are leading as the ladies are proceeding, and they glide and pass and bodies ebb and flow. He takes her hand and asks to have this dance. She slyly smiles and gives him half a chance. And as his heart is moved with passion in a most romantic fashion, she has fallen for him without second glance. Tonight I never dreamed I would dance like this. I feel lighter than air in uncharted bliss. Would you grant me the joy of knowing our new and true love's first kiss? Sir, I think you are grand, but before you proceed, take me to tango once again.
Right, that was Fleur Seule with Take Me to Tango. We're going to follow that up with another track from Allison and Fleur Seule. This is called Aint It Funny.
it funny how we are a pair? Ain't it fine and funny that you're standing there? I never thought that we would be together, but I want to be with you next to me through any kind of weather. Ain't it funny how our two hearts are one? Ain't it crazy that we've only just begun? I don't know how you make my days all sunny. Guess I'd suffice it to say, ain't it funny?
That was Ain't It Funny from Fleur Seule. And to wrap up, Fleur Seule is our first featured artist of this hour. We have one more tune called You Need a Little Zing.
Lord, I'm mighty lonesome. I haven't slept a wink. My neighbors say that I'm inconsolable, won't take food or drink. There's something I'm thinking you gotta have each day. A little something special and out of the ordinary, chasing blues away. You need a little zing in your step. You need a little zing to give you some pep. So swing out, swing in, swing out, swing in. Begin to get when the feeling is right. Your life is okay, it's not such a mess. You work hard all day and still feel depressed, 'cause something is missing, you know that it's missing. What is this feeling inside? so far away. It's searching for that sweet slice of paradise, making things okay. Your two-tone shoes are dusty, your body's stiff and sore. You're in this world but feel unfulfilled and you need something more. You need a little zing in your step, you need a little zing to give you some pep. So swing out, swing in, swing out, swing in, begin again when the feeling is right. Your life is okay, it's not such a mess. You work hard all day and still feel depressed cause something is missing, you know that it's missing. What is this feeling inside? You need a little zing in your step, you need a little zing to give you some pep. So swing out, swing in, swing out, swing in, begin again when the feeling is right. Zing, 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 zing tonight.
All right, that wraps up our first featured artist of this hour, Fleur Seule. And we're on to the second. John, what do you have lined up for us for number 2 here?
Well, I got a couple announcements here because we want to make Jade, our engineer, queue up our next featured artist. So let me just give a couple of shout-outs to some people listening in here first. Laura Ainsworth and her husband Pat, listening in all the way from Dallas, Texas, and my good friends Patrick, Frank, and Assad, living in from their office building here in New York City. And Jay, the engineer, is getting our next artist ready. Just a reminder, once again, you're on the air with DJ John Lombardi, host of my program Lounging with Lombardi, which can be heard every Tuesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, broadcasting live from the City World Radio Network studios from the greatest city in the world, New York, New York. And if you want to get in touch with us, we do love to hear from our listeners. All you got to do is send us an email. You go to the website or you go through our Facebook page. And speaking about Facebook, we encourage you to like our City World Facebook page. I encourage you to like my Lounging with Lombardi Facebook page. And if you want to friend me on Facebook, all you have to do is find the John Lombardi with the headphones on. It's very easy to find. Okay, once again, we are on the air. I am from the captain's chair, behind microphone number 1, DJ John Lombardi. And to my left, my co-host this afternoon, my co-pilot, right behind microphone number 2, is a big band vocalist, musician, and band leader, Glenn Chrysler, who will be taking over the program once again at 6 p.m. when I go see Louis Prima Jr. at the Cutting Room. All right, we continue. My second featured artist this afternoon, we're going to take a chapter from the Great American Songbook. It's my Pa Zion, all the way from the great state of Connecticut, Mr. Steve Dagasino. I had the pleasure to see Steve Dagasino perform at the Metropolitan Room here in New York City. And I'd like to take some selected tracks from his fabulous CD. The first one, the classic Cole Porter's I Get a Kick Out of You.
My story is much too sad to be told, but practically everything leaves me totally cold. The only exception I know is the case when I'm out on a quiet spree, finding vainly the old ennui. Then I suddenly turn and see your fabulous face. I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. Tell me why should it be true that I get a kick out of you? Some like the cocaine from Spain. I'm sure that if I took even one sniff, it would bore me to riff. Thickly too, however I do get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you standing there before me. I get a kick, though it's clear to see that you obviously, you do not adore me. in a plane, flying too high with some gal in the sky is my idea of nothing to do. Yes, I get a kick. You give me a boot. I get a kick out of you.
All right, once again, we're listening to my second featured artist this afternoon from the great state of Connecticut, Mr. Steve Dagasino. We're taking a chapter from the Great American Songbook. That was his rendition of Cole Porter's I Get a Kick Out of You. And let me give a shout-out to Mr. Ken Slaving, listening all the way from San Antonio, Texas, this afternoon. And we continue with Steve Dagasino, one of my favorite love songs from the Great American Songbook. I'm sure it is yours as well. The classic, The Way You Look Tonight.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart. My foolish heart. Lovely, never ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never ever change, and just keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight.
Classic, The Way You Look Tonight, as performed by, once again, my second feature artist this afternoon from the great state of Connecticut, Mr. Steve Dagasino, as we take a chapter from the Great American Songbook. And a shout out to my good friend Norma Jean Orlando, listening in from Steubenville, Ohio. And babe, I love the way you look tonight. We continue with Steve Dagasino. Next track was a song written during World War II by a Frenchman named Charles Trenet. It was called La Mer, which means the sea. It became a big hit for Bobby Darin back in the 1960s when they translated it to English. And this is Steve Dagasino's rendition of the classic Beyond the Sea.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high and straight to her arms, I'd go sailing. It's far beyond a star, it is near beyond the moon. I know beyond the doubt my heart will lead me there soon. We will meet beyond the shore, we're gonna kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. It's far beyond the stars, it is near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me there soon. We will meet, I know we'll meet beyond the shore. We're gonna kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. No more sailing, so long sailing, bye-bye sailing again. No more sailing, so long sailing, bye-bye sailing again.
A great rendition of, once again, Bobby Darin's Beyond the Sea, as performed by Mr. Steve Dagasino, my second feature artist this afternoon. And let's give a shout out to some people listening in from sunny Florida this afternoon. Frank and Marty Calamari, Mike and Gina, and Richard and Vivian. I'm going to turn the microphone over to my co-host, once again, Glenn Chrysler, and he's going to read off a few of our songs here on our second featured artist. All right, Glenn, take it away. What do we have?
All right, coming up, another tune from Steve Dagasino. We'll sail right on into the next tune, Where or When.
It seems we stood and we talked just like this once before. We looked at each other in the same way then. Can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes that you wore. That smile, you are smiling, you were smiling then. Can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems we have met once before, then we laughed once before, also loved once before, but who knows where or when. For the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems we have met once before, then we'll have a lot before, also love a lot before. But who knows?
That was Steve Dagasino with Where or When. Next up, for our second featured artist of this hour, Steve Dagasino sings My Kind of a Girl.
She walks like an angel walks. She talks like an angel talks, and her hair has a kind of curl. To my mind, she's my kind of girl. She's wise like an angel's wife, with eyes like an angel's eyes, and her smile like a kind of pearl. To my mind, she's my kind of girl. A pretty little face, and that face just knocks me off my feet. Pretty little feet, she's really sweet enough to eat. She looks like an angel looks. She cooks like an angel cooks. And my mind in a kind of world. In my mind, she's my kind of girl. Face just knocks me off of my feet. The pretty little feet, she's really sweet enough to eat. Yeah, she looks like an angel looks. And she cooks, what does she cook? Like an angel cooks. in my mind. She's my kind of girl. Yes, my poor heart has got me up in a whirl. She's just my kind. She's a girl, and I'm glad.
That was My Kind of Girl from Steve Dagasino. Coming up next from Steve, we have another track, Cheek to Cheek.